Professor Charif and Professor Arif. It's kind of you to invite me. I still have very fond memories from last year's gathering, and so I'm glad to invite me again this year. I want to congratulate you for staying on this long day. And I also like to congratulate the organizing committee for putting on this program in December. I was very impressed because December, as you know, is the season for term papers and final exams and that sort of thing. Even after Nadia told me that at RIT you just started the program, I'm still impressed. I woke up this morning, when I don't see the sunshine, my first impulse with someone from California was to turn around and go back to sleep, so I'm glad I didn't do that, because I've enjoyed today's proceeding. The topic at hand today is the One Malaysia in Achieving Vision 2020. To many, and I'm one of those included, One Malaysia is one of those many slogans that our leaders are so fond of coining. We've been to so many slogans before: Malaysia Boleh, Gemilang, Terbilang, Cemerlang, and Temberang, and a few others. To others, One Malaysia simply means Najib Razak's website. Those are unkind remarks, of course. One Malaysia simply means the encapsulation of Prime Minister Najib's vision of Malaysia, of a united Malaysia. He put 8 values in it, and I'm sure when you came for the interview with Mara, they asked me what are the 8 values of One Malaysia. Now, I'm sure you know them, but I'll repeat. One is excellence, culture of excellence, perseverance, acceptance, loyalty, humility, integrity, and meritocracy. I do not know exactly what's the difference between, if there are any, between a culture of excellence and meritocracy, or between acceptance and loyalty. However, I think Najib is a superstitious man, and like most Malaysians, they believe in numbers, and 8 is, in our scheme of things, has a special meaning. So that's the main reason for the 8 values. As for the website, onemalaysia.com.my, how many of you tried to search that website? If you're not careful, you get a web hosting company. So that's not a very smart web name. So with that frivolous introduction and attempt at humor, I now turn to the topic at hand. Vision 2020, as you all know, is the inspiration of then Prime Minister Mahathir. He articulated in 1991 to propel Malaysia towards a developed status by 2020. The original title of that speech, and which he subsequently put in the book, is called The Way Forward. But the way forward doesn't have quite the same zing as 2020, so 2020 is fixed. Being an iconoclast, Mahathir has his own definition of what being a developed state. So, but before we go further, let me tell you what I think, what is the meaning of a developed state. If you look at the dictionary, the definition of developed state is a state with a high degree of industrialization and standard of living brought on by the wealth and technology that brought about the industrialization. So that's the classic definition of a developed state. Japan is a developed state because they have a lot of industries and the standard of living of Japanese people is very high. So that's one definition. The second definition is an economist definition. It is based on the standard of living, which is affected by a per capita GDP. And a developed state usually has a per capita GDP of 18,000. And Malaysia has a per capita GDP of 13.4 thousand, which is slightly below the criteria for a developed state. The word PPP means purchasing power parity, which means $1 in New York is different from $1 in $1 in New York buys different things than $1 in Malaysia. So you just can't use the foreign exchange rate per se. You have to use the purchasing power. That's what it means. If you look strict on conversion rates alone, the per capita income of Malaysia is about $4,000 or $5,000 US. But based on what that $4,000 or $5,000 can buy, translated to America, is the equivalent of some $130,000 in America. That's what purchasing power parity means. So that's the second definition based on GDP. The United Nations have another definition called the Human Development Index. That takes care of three criteria. One is the life expectancy at birth, which is really a measure of the health of the people. The second one is the level of education of the people, which is measured by the literacy rate and the enrollment, school enrollment rates. And the third thing is the standard of living, which is reflected by per capita GDP. And to be considered developed, you must have an index of about 0.9 or 0.9. And Malaysia has an index of 850 or thereabouts. So they're fairly high out there. These are some examples of HDR select countries. Norway is on the top, 0.93. United States is 0.944. Brunei at 0.866, and Malaysia 796. And if you believe the human HDI index, we are ahead of the Russians. And the reason that we are ahead of the Russians is that a lot of Russians are drunk and they die in winter. So the index for the life expectancy is lower. So even though the economy is higher than Malaysia, but they're brought down by life expectancy. The definition number 4 is Mahathir's definition, encapsulated in Vision 2020. And that is fully developed in all its dimensions, economically, politically, socially, spiritually, psychologically, and culturally. That's his exact words. And also in terms of national unity and social cohesion. The economy, social justice, political stability, system of government, quality of life, social, spiritual values, national pride, and confidence. That's what he said. When somebody asks him, what's that mean? How do you measure that? So he has to go back to real measurable qualities. So to him, the doubling of GDP every decade from 1900 to 2020. So that's something you can measure. That means a growth rate of about 7% annually. Now, Mahathir used the word GDP. It's not correct. GDP is actually per capita GDP, not GDP. Now definition number 5, which is my definition. My definition of developed state is simply like pornography. I know it when I see it. It's more than the high standard of living. It's more than high per capita income or having heavy industries or skyscrapers. But I know it when you're in developed state. How do I know that? My definition is simply this. When I drive from San Diego to Tijuana, I know I'm leaving a first world or a developed country and entering an undeveloped country or developing country. When I drive north from Pittsburgh, New York, across the border to Montreal, Quebec, I know I'm entering another first world country. What makes me think that? Not just me. If you do the same thing, you have the same thing. What makes you think of that thing? Well, consider these factors. Number 1, if you're stopped by the police in Tijuana, what do? You grab your purse and see how much cash you have so that you can bribe the policeman. Right? But you stop by the police in Quebec, what do? You make sure your driver's license and your car registration number papers are in order. Right? If I have an accident in Tijuana, the first thing that comes to my mind is how to get back to America as quickly as possible. Because I don't trust the system. If I have an accident in Canada, take me to the nearest hospital. I have confidence in that. When I'm eating out in Montreal, the only consideration I have is what kind of cuisine I want. Western, French, Mediterranean, the cost, and the atmosphere. That's the ambient. That's all. In Tijuana, no matter, you have to choose very carefully. And even after choosing the good restaurant, I make sure I don't take the salads and the ice water. And the last one is my favorite one. And this is, I just went to a tour recently, and this is very true. When you walk about and you need the bathroom, you can tell right away which one is a developing country and which one is an undeveloped country. When I walk around in Tibet, I don't have to worry about bathroom. I go to any restaurant and find we have a good washroom. If I go to Tijuana, I have to plan ahead of time where the bathrooms are. Otherwise, I'm beyond the stage going behind the bush, so I have to plan carefully.